Time to welcome Aniruddha Naha, who is the CIO of Alternatives PGIM India Asset Management Company, joining us on the show right now. Very good afternoon, and thank you so much for your time, Aniruddha. Firstly, help us with your take on the markets, because the last week has been quite an eventful week for the Indian markets. We finally managed to break out of the range, and not just that, it was the big RBI bazooka as well. I'm sure you must also be liking the financial space, but what's your overall take on the markets right now?
So thank you for having me here. So we've continued to remain positive. I mean, we turned positive somewhere in the month of February, March, and our view is whether it is short term, medium term, long term, we remain reasonably positive on markets. There could be, because the small caps have seen a reasonable amount of rally of almost 20%. Can there be a pullback? There can be. But over the period of time, I mean, into the next couple of years, 3 years, I think it's a good time to build portfolios. The macro fundamentals look to be very strong out here, and financials, as you pointed out, I think so that's one space where there is reasonable amount of opportunity to build a good long-term portfolio, and valuations are quite reasonable out there. So remain positive on markets, remain positive on financials.
This is Ankita also joining in. Well, yes, as far as the positive momentum is concerned for the market, we do see a lot of positive news coming in. As far as the inflows are concerned, the FIIs have already bought $1.7 billion of inflow in the month of May, and the DIIs have bought $7.9 billion. Also, looking at the SIP numbers that are sitting at all-time highs, there is, still that positivity in the market. We have been very, very range bound, but from here on, when we move up, like you said, you are very bullish on financials, but given that the FII flows might return to India specifically after the rate cuts, do you see the large cap basket benefiting from that?
See, our sense is FIs, as you mentioned, is at about 16% ownership. This has very little downside, and incrementally, as fundamentals for India look comparatively far better than what we see in a lot of other markets. Invariably, you're going to see FII flows coming into India. Will it be towards only large caps? Yes, large caps have that liquidity space to accommodate more money. But I think whenever that happens, even domestic investors get positive, and that is where you will see the the HNI families, the family offices, even retail coming back, and that will fill into the mid cap, small cap, micro cap. So yes, the initial rally on the FII side could lead to a large cap rally out there, but we continue to believe that money will flow to places or segments of market where valuations are reasonable. And we see valuations, especially in the small micro cap space and the large cap space, to be reasonably good. I think it's only the mid cap where we'll have to wait and see how things play out, given that valuations are a little steep out there.
All right, but Aniruddha, help us with your sector preferences as well. Any sector believe it's at an inflection point, because we just got done with the earnings season as well. So any sector which looks promising to you right now?
So I think a few sectors which get linked. One is the rate cuts and the liquidity that has come in. We'll definitely see financials participating, especially the NBFC segment, and probably a quarter or 2 quarters down the line, even the MFIs, their asset quality gets addressed, and that will flow through. The second thing, as you have got liquidity and your cost of capital goes down, you will invariably see the capex cycle, or the investment cycle oriented businesses do very well over a period of time. So cap goods will be the second part, and third part is consumption, because consumption was subdued, but this time around, once the rains seem to have taken off reasonably well, you've got tax benefits come through on the consumption for taxpayers, and the rate cycle seems to be on the lower side. So from that perspective, I think discretionary consumption would be the third area where we would be extremely positive about how things will play out.
On that note, Aniruddha, thank you so much for taking the time out, joining us and weighing in the markets. We will let you go on that note.